Namaste all, hope you all are doing good. So now I bring you a playlist for mastering the large language model, generative AI and agentic AI. So what we are going to do in this playlist, what I am going to do, what you are going to do, and what all steps we will have, what is the duration of this playlist, and what all contributions you can do, all that we will discuss in today's video. So today's video is all about introduction, content, and what is it that you are going to get. So that's the discussion of today's video. And the way I have framed this playlist is we're going to have a learning in 3 stages. Okay, so let me take you to that slide in a minute. So stage 1 will be LLM overview, which is large language models overview. In that, we are going to spend our time on these 8 bullets, the LLM basics, transformer architecture, and all the 8 bullets. I will talk about each bullet in few minutes, but overall we are going to have 8 videos in the stage 1. Similarly, once you are good perfectly in and out of LLM, right, why it came into existence, what was there before it, and what is that use case or need or requirement because of which we had to go through large language models. Wasn't the machine learning models was not sufficient, or is it different from LLM models, or how is it different if it's different? So we are going to speak more on it in a minute. And then once we are good, once we become a pro in the LLM, we are going to spend time on the stage 2 of our learning, which is generative AI. Now, if you observe the pattern, again here I have drafted the content into 8 bullets. That is, we are going to have 8 videos. And what is each bullet saying, that I'm going to talk in a minute. And finally, we are going to jump onto stage 3, which is agentic AI. Again, what each bullet says, I'm going to speak in a minute, but this is what we are going to cover in our entire playlist. So overall, if you see, what is the summary of this playlist is, we are going to have a learning in 3 stages, and each stage contains 8 videos. Okay. Now, throughout this learning, we are going to have our hands-on with multiple assessments, challenges, and GitHub. So I have created this repo. So in this repo, I'm going to create a skeleton reference and a folder where we will be doing hands-on. So I will be doing it. You can clone it or you can fork it, and also I will be creating a PR template where you can contribute. Overall, in this repo, I will be keeping challenges, and I will keep the stage-wise hands-on things that you need to be doing. Okay, so with that mentioned, that's the hands-on part and challenges we are going to get. And finally, if you are new to this platform, and if we go and spend a minute on the slide 1, do you see there is something called AI, ML, deep learning, data science, right? So is it something that you are not aware so far? Then I would say go ahead, spend some time, and then come to this playlist. Now, there are 2 kinds of people who wants to start from the LLM itself. Can you start? Of course you can start if you have basic awareness of what is Python or the platforms or how to write the code, how to invoke. That is sufficient, and I will take you through from the basics to the pro level. But if you are aware of the differences of what is AI, ML, data science, deep learning, it will be very easy for you. Not very much easy, but it will be a good starting point for you. Now, the people who are interested in the maths behind each algorithm, I would say we have spent our quality time, we have spent enough time on understanding. If you see this playlist, we have spent on how to set up, we have spent on what is Python, how to write the programming, and then we took a deep insights on how to write the visualization, what are the algorithms, the maths behind each algorithm. All these things we have spent quality amount of time, not just the programming, but the maths behind it. Okay, so with that mentioned, let me go here. So if you understand that, it's very good. If not, in the first bullet, that is LLM overview, I will try to spend some time and give you a gist of everything, and then we can deep dive more into this domain. All right, so I think that's something, a point where we can start. And now we will spend some time on understanding what each bullet is, and I hope you understood that what you can expect in the next I would say 1.5 months, because we are going to have 2 weeks for each stage, and we have 8 videos. So that's how we are framing the content. All right, so with that mentioned, let's try to understand what is LLM basics. All right, let me show you one more thing before I all right, so here if you see, previously what we did was the classical machine learning. Okay, and we spent our time on the algorithms, building models, training, testing. Okay, and then we used the classifiers, the regressions, and then we moved a bit towards the neural networks, and that's how we were making a progress. All right, so if you see the slide, we have multiple stages, that is classical machine learning, deep learning, LLMs, GenAI, agentic AI. So this playlist is focused on the second half of this table, that is from the third, fourth, and fifth step. Now the classical ML and deep learning is what we have spent. You can go and find it in this playlist. And before ending this video, we will also see how our working and mindset shift is happening, and why is the need in the first place. All that we are going to see. Okay, so let's start with LLM overview. So in the LLM basics, we'll try to understand what is large language model. Why do we call it large? If we are saying large means, do we have small language models also? When we say language, what is this language? Is it like binary or the English, or is it our vocabulary language? What is this language we are focusing on? And then models. When we say LLM models, how is this model different from our ML models, or is it same? Or what is this each wording is called, and then we will spend some time on uh, transformer architecture. So here when we say transformer architecture, it's basically the backbone of the LLM. Now if you see the model that we used to have previously, like for example the neural nets or LSTM, okay, um, those models are getting replaced by LLMs, and mainly there is two reasons for it: of long range of context holding, and secondly the parallel processing. So these two are the main things why transformer is the backbone of the LLMs. Then we will spend our time on tokenization and embeddings. So when we say tokenization in any context, it's basically dividing the bulk lines or big chunks of data into small possible pieces. It could be the smallest or the small one, whichever is relevant to us. Then embeddings is how we are saving the data, in what format and for whom. So in our case, we are saving the data for our models to understand and provide us with the contextual responses. Okay, we'll not jump more, but embeddings are basically the way we are, saving the data for our models to understand. Next, we are going to go with the Hugging Face transformers. As part of this, we will understand what all are the available options and how we can run the models using Python. Okay, then Open AI API basics, my bad. So here we will try to run our first hands-on app where we are going to make use of models, API keys. At this point when I am using, I have a quota for free limit and I have a quota for the paid limit. So by the time we prepare this content, we'll see how the quota or the free quota changes. But okay, as part of Open API basics, we'll try to write the flow, that is making use of API keys, making use of the models, and provide the request to get the response, and how we can make use of the complete flow. So this is how we are going to form a foundations for our next set of applications or hands-on that we are going to get. And then prompt engineering. So when you simply type on any chatbot or any platform, it's a prompting, but there is an engineering involved in this prompt engineering as well. For example, no shot or single shot, or contextual conversation or without context, and based on how we are giving the prompt, the output that we are expecting varies drastically. So we are going to see what are the tools, or not tools, what are the techniques we should consider while writing the prompt. That's where we are calling it as prompt engineering. Then we are going to build our first LLM powered chatbot, and finally the LLM evaluation. So previously when we are developing a model, there should be some metric, there should be some boundaries which tells us is it good, is it bad, or whether the tuning that I'm doing is in the way that I'm expecting, or is it in a different way. So all that we need to have in these LLM evaluations as well, like how it should behave, the guardrails. It should not cross certain limit, it should not cross the boundaries, or how it is responding in different situation, how it is handling different scenarios or the edge cases. So all this we are going to learn in the stage 1, that is LLM overview. And I can assure by the end of this LLM evaluation, you will be very much aware of everything that you needed in the LLM. And once you are good with this, kudos to you for sticking so far. We will jump onto the Stage 2, that is generative AI. Now let's understand what are we are going to do in the Gen AI. So the Gen AI overview, it's basically generative AI overview, right? So when you're talking about generating some content, right? Um, it could be any media, right? It could be text, it could be image, it could be video, or let's go to one more step ahead and we can say it could be PDF, it could be PPT, it could be Word document, right? So how it is generating, what is happening behind the scene, that is what we will try to understand in this overview. Now then we will, you know, take one domain, that is one kind of modeling, and we will dive very much in depth, okay, in that one video itself, that is text generation parameters. So just for text generating, what levels of parameter we have, okay, how we can control everything just for text, because in this standard, what I can assure is once we are good with the text generation parameters, just by seeing the documentation, just by being aware of what are the things we have for the video or image, it will be very easy for you because all follow the similar, I would say, a similar template. Okay. Next, we will explore few more tools as part of code generation and autocomplete. Here, we might already be using Copilot or the LLM suits or ChatGPT, multiple Grok, and everything we are using. Okay. So in that video, we are going to explore few more, and then we are going to spend time on what is happening behind the scenes. Like as soon as I send submit, where is the call going? We will try to understand that flow of the architecture. Okay, and then we'll specifically in the fourth video we are going to focus on the whisper, where text to audio, audio to text. Why I chose to whisper specifically, I'll I'll maybe not reveal as of now. Alright. Then once we have spent our time on text, we have spent our time on the audio, and then with stable diffusion and diffusers, we are going to spend our time on the image. And then if you see as of today, when you are writing prompt in ChatGPT, for example, we started with the text. Now it's supposed image, and then it is supporting video also. All that it is supporting. So how it is working as part of combining modalities, we are going to develop something where we can see how all the modalities together work. Okay, so the APIs that I'm writing, it should be pure function. I should not say pure. Basically, it should be generic enough that it can read the content from any of these three things. Okay, and then finally we are going to have an hands-on app for which I'm going to give you a skeleton structure and a structure which I'll complete during this during the demo itself. And finally, whatever we are deploying, we are going to host on the platforms for the public to make use of it. Okay, so yeah, I think at this point of time you are pro in the stage 1 LLMs and you are pro at stage 2 generative AI, and no one can stop you from going to stage 3. So stage 3 we have all about agentic AI. Now let's say in agentic AI you are not going to develop a model, but you are going to create agents to make use of the models. Alright, so if I say you have 10 models available as of now, and your primary requirement is to automate something, and at that time, I should not say this is the only thing, but this is one thing where you will build an agent so that you can make use of multiple models, communicate with each other, build your workflow, and complete a use case. That's all the agentic AI is about. But what I'm speaking today is a very layman language. But when we'll jump on the overview, the actual video, we'll make use of the jargons, we'll make use of how each thing is looked in perspective of the developer and how each thing is looked in perspective of the layman's. Okay. So yeah, with that mentioned, then we'll go into the LangChain basics, and we are going to spend some time on the all the frameworks, where we are going to learn different techniques, methods like chaining or the parallel processing, sequential processing, all that we are going to see. Then OpenAI function calling. So uh, when I said agents, make use of our agents and call the models, it means there is an API call involved. Okay, it's not the API call, there are multiple ways to communicate. So in the OpenAI function calling, we are going to understand how we are going to create the agent, how we are going to communicate with different models, and where is it available. Is it available on some platform? Can I run it in local? And for different models, what is my system requirements, or what is the charge I'm going to get? We are going to learn things which is relevant for us. We are not going to spend time on the prices and etc. more, just the gist, so that architecturally we are good enough, we have enough knowledge to choose which model is good at what use case. And then we are going to spend the time on the RAG powered agent. So here RAG will mostly focus on how to get the latest reply and how to maintain the context and how to combine both of them and give us. So before this, if you jump on this video directly, I would suggest hold on here. Okay, come in sequences, because we are going to learn embedding first and then we are going to come in sequence here. And all these are interrelated. There is a reason why I am keeping this sequence of stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. Okay, you can come to stage 3 directly, but I would suggest you to follow the stages. And then finally we are going to have a multi-agent collaboration, where instead of single agent, we are going to have multiple agents communicating with multiple different models. Okay, and then we have learned about multiple modalities as part of stage 2. That knowledge we are going to make use of here. And finally, one more hands-on we are going to have here. So in every demo we are going to have hands-on, but when I'm specifically saying hands-on, it's for you to do, okay, mandatorily. And then finally we are going to focus on the safety pieces, guardrails, and all such things with which we can be assured that our model is working fine. Not model, our flow is working fine and good for the public use. Yeah, so that's what you can expect in next 1.5 months, that is 6 weeks. And okay, so I hope you are clear with the content, and if that is sufficient for you, let's meet with the first video of LLM. And if you're still here, let's spend some time on the stages that we have. So if we see in classical modeling, right, we have done predictive modelings, we have done few more classifications, clustering, regressions. Okay, in regression itself we have so many algorithms. In clustering itself we have so many. Similarly for classification. So when we are going for these kind of models, or what are we doing this? Here we're simply designing the features and choosing the algorithms, but that is more about, if, like in system design we have high level design, low level design, and when we are talking about low level design, we are focusing on each component. The technicality of it is very minute thing. Okay, so when we talk about classical ML, we are very much focused on the algorithm and its performance, right? That's where we are building the model. But in deep learning, we are making use of this and preparing the architectures. For example, neural networks. Okay, so even when you are tuning the parameter, or you're passing, if for example I say, like how we have currying in the JavaScript, you pass functions to the functions. Here you're passing the models or parameters to tune your neural nets. Means you took a step one, you took a jump from focusing on the models in the machine learning to preparing the neural nets. Okay, so this is what we have done already. Okay, but don't worry if you have not done, you can spend some time, or I will touch base as and where it's mandatory required for us to go ahead with the next step. Now coming to LLMs, we are going to make use of this pre-trained model, and we are going to focus not on the building of it, but tuning it as per our use case. Because for example, there is a model which is good enough for the text, but what kind of text? Is it my company's text? Is it my the political text, or is it my the world, the full global text? Okay, so based on what domain I am dealing with, I would tune my model. Okay, then generative AI, which is purely focused on generating the content. Okay, it could be image, audio, text that we have seen. So that's where this focuses on. And finally, Agentic AI, where we are not going to develop the models or tune the models. No, nothing we are going to do. I've spent already this much amount of time in preparing the algorithms, the architecture, and then giving intelligence to that, and finally orchestrating my complete text or content creation models. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do in Agentic is I'm going to create the flows, make use of everything that is developed so far, and my flow should complete one use case. Okay, and we are going to see various examples, use case, and many such. I think we are good enough to understand what we are going to learn in this playlist. So do mention in the comment section if you want to tune anything in this playlist. And then with that mention, do subscribe and click on follow button, so that whenever I publish anything, you get a notification. And yeah, let's not break the flow until we are done with this complete sessions. Alright, see you soon in the first video of LLM overview. That's all for today. Thank you.